Let's talk about Barcelona Bayern Munich in a week where we saw Koeman almost coming out. So it kind of felt so there's a power tussle, right? So a couple of days before he says, I'm the reason Barcelona have a future, right? And I think he's spoken too soon. A week after they've got a beating and he's back where he was, which is we need somebody else to take this team forward. Is that what you feel, or like PK says, this is our reality, this is who we are, and this is where we are, and is that the honest truth?
First part is, I think I saw a tweet, a Spanish guy saying first PK was deliberately misinterpreted. That what he meant to say is not what was portrayed. But on Koeman, I think it's smart for Barcelona to stick with him. How far he's going to take them, I have question marks. Not because I think he's one of those guys that is brilliant in terms of the football, but it's not great in terms of the people. So he's cut from that Louis van Gaal school where the football knowledge is there, the expertise is there. But in terms of dealing with the people, saying the right things in the press, maybe not as good as can be with some of the other guys. I don't see him taking them too far, but I see him being the manager that helps them stabilize.
Right.
And then they look for somebody else when they are stable to take the team further.
Right. I think it's the most brilliant piece of analysis I've seen on Koeman, because I honestly think, and I give managers a lot of respect, right? More so when you score one of the greatest goals in Champions League history, right? However, I feel like, and I'm not one of the people who go around saying, this guy needs to put an arm around the player, right? I know when there is that, and I know when the media and fans are just trying to be, unnecessarily problematic. However, I think what he said is true. I think that sometimes you can be a bit more politically correct.
Yeah.
And this is not you backing down; it's just you being
understanding the job that
you're doing
and knowing how to handle it. For me, I don't have any problem with Koeman. When he was hired, I felt like, that's the right man, because tactically he's there. But I think Barcelona as an organization, after seeing the Bayern Munich game, the fact that they are in a place where they need to rebuild, they need to do, some certain things. I mean, that fact is not lost on me. But I'm looking at and I said this, I think maybe a year or 2 years ago. I said Barcelona were being very arrogant with how they are going about their recruitment, process. And I think the same thing is happening again. So now you have lost Messi. Look, you have to really sit down and be humble and realize that you have to build your team like everybody else. You are no longer the Barcelona with Iniesta and Xavi and prime Busquets and Messi. Even prime PK is probably not good.
Terrorists.
Good in all those boys. You don't have those guys anymore. You have to build like everybody else. So I said that to say that now I'm looking at the kind of people they are bringing in. So the transfer window, we don't have money, financial issues. They brought in Aguero, brought in Memphis Depay, brought in all of these people. But I'm looking at the profile of players they are bringing in defensively. There is still that idea of Barcelona. We can be heavy on the attacking side of the game.
Exactly.
Look, you have to build like everybody else. I thought the game against Bayern Munich was an embarrassment. The fact that PK is still starting says a lot about the team, says a lot about what they are trying to build. Because right now, I would have been thinking, look around Europe and get people, defenders that are very good individually.
Proper defenders.
In fairness, they tried to do that.
No, I don't think they tried. No, I agree with you.
Because they went and got Garcia.
Hold on a second.
Come on, Garcia.
That couldn't get a game at City.
Hold on a second. Look, there are times where you feel like this guy hasn't gotten a game not because he's not good enough, but just because of the shared quality in front of him.
He's probably good, but not good enough to play for that team.
I agree. And you also have to factor in, like you said, the financial situation Barcelona in. So what's the strategy we're going in the market?
Exactly.
We're going to try and...
What's the strategy?
We're going to try and get players that we think are quality for cheap or for free.
Yeah.
But I think that when you get a guy like Umtiti, who in my opinion has been a big disappointment for Barcelona, I think he just had one good season. You have to cut them some slack in that regard.
Because if how many years ago?
No. Look, a centre back for a club traditionally does 7 good years thereabouts. All the great teams always have that. Bayern Munich had a great centre back in Boateng for the best of 10 years. United had Vidic and Ferdinand for the longest time. And I think we've seen 1 year of Varane already. Rather, Harry Maguire. Liverpool had 3 years of Van Dijk. So centre backs are not things you go out and do every day in the
No,
market.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm saying you said Umtiti had one good season.
Yeah.
So if Umtiti is not such a good defender, I'm saying he's been there long enough to try and say, I'm more so now that financial issues, Messi has left the team. Like I said, you have to build like everybody else.
Yeah.
Go around there. We don't have money. Okay, we need to get. Because before now, Barcelona can afford to get.
What is wrong with going and getting Koulibaly?
Exactly. What's wrong with going and getting Koulibaly? Before now, Barcelona used to be okay with the defender doesn't have to be really sound individually, but because he comes into Barcelona, we won't have a problem. But now that's not the Barcelona anymore. You have to get defenders that
Proper
are very
defenders.
good individually, proper defenders.
And guess what? The point Olakule is making, which I'm seeing, is the fact that you can't be thinking, Koulibaly might even be a lot too much at the moment because of financial issues. You're going to go out and say, I know we like to buy defenders like this.
Yeah.
PK, Rolls Royces.
Yeah.
But we're going to go into the market and look for proper defenders. If we'll get them for 10 million, 15 million.
You're not going to get a good defender.
No.
Do you think they would have been able to get Thiago Silva from Chelsea?
But they can defend.
Do you think they would have been able to get him?
Possible.
They probably would.
They probably would.
Give him 2 years.
Probably would.
So proper defenders.
Yeah.
Not archetypal.
I feel like when Rufai made the first point about, and this is where I think that I hate to say it, but this is where I feel like every club's philosophy should be about winning. Right? And when you're a manager like Jose Mourinho says, look, when you get into a team, you have to work with the profile of the players
That you have.
You cannot try to make Luke Shaw, you're the Alba, or David Alaba. You cannot make Wan-Bissaka play like Daniel Alves. He's simply so. What you do, you lean towards his strength. The problem I have with Barca is that if I'm a Barcelona fan, this is where I feel very embarrassed. Is that Bayern Munich hardly got out of second gear. They were just they were
cruising.
Pick Bayern Munich, but they got the job done.
We don't need to go gear 4. Make we just do.
In a way, you might say the scoreline flattered Bayern.
Yeah, maybe.
Because on the overall balance, I don't think it was a 3-0.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like if I was a fan, I would be having some doubts, mostly around what happened at halftime. I feel like the first half was pretty much even. Yes, Bayern went in 1 goal ahead, but pretty much even. And the first 10-15 minutes of the second half was pretty much 80% Bayern.
Yeah.
So I would be asking myself, what exactly happened in the Barcelona dressing room at halftime?
That's a coach talking.
Yeah. So there's a disconnect somewhere.
Somewhere something happened that maybe he said some things that were not received the best way possible, and possibly the other guy tells his players, well, 1 goal ahead, get the second one.
Did you see the Lewandowski first goal?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, what was Piqué doing?
So to be honest, I don't think Piqué should be starting any
No, I don't think Piqué should be starting again.
Right. Hi there. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Please leave a subscribe on the channel, The Hindsight Podcast, and also on Instagram at The Hindsight Podcast. It's the same on Twitter as well. Leave a like, a retweet, or a comment. We'll see you soon.